What kind of mother walks away from her husband and newborn twins, just because they were poor? This isn't fiction. This is a true Lagos story, and by the end, you'll question everything you thought you knew about betrayal, sacrifice, and destiny. In a quiet part of Lagos, a woman named Jennifer made a decision that would change her life forever. She walked out on her humble husband Maurice and their twin daughters, Amy and Amara, not knowing destiny had a twist waiting for her. They were once the couple everyone admired, a love story people wished for. But behind closed doors, Jennifer grew distant, consumed by envy and the hunger for a life Maurice couldn't give her fast enough. She wanted more. Not just love, luxury. And when Maurice lost a contract that could have changed everything, Jennifer made a decision that shocked even the devil. One cold morning, without a word, Jennifer packed her bags, left a note, and walked out on her husband and their twin girls, Amy and Amara. Maurice was shattered. His knees hit the ground the moment he read her words, "I'm done. I want more. Don't look for me." The twins cried, not understanding why Mummy was gone. Maurice returned from work that evening to find the house unusually quiet. No scent of stew, no laughter from the twins, no Jennifer. Just a folded note on the dining table. It read, "I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore." His hands trembled. Jennifer had vanished, no calls, no explanations. Just silence. And Maurice, a man who had built his world around her and their daughters, was left to pick up the pieces alone. He walked into the twins' room and watched them sleep, unaware their mother had just walked out of their lives. Little Amy and Amara, barely 3, only had him now. While Jennifer explored freedom and new beginnings in another city, Maurice became father and mother. He cooked, cleaned, braided tiny hairs, and showed up for every school function. Years passed. Amy and Amara grew into graceful young girls, smart, kind, and full of dreams. Their father raised them with love, and the memory of a mother who chose to walk away. Jennifer never checked back. Not a call. Not a birthday message. As if the children she birthed had vanished with her old life. Maurice shielded the twins from the truth, but they always sensed something was missing. At school, the twins were teased. "Your mama ran away." But they held each other's hands tightly and said nothing. Their silence became their strength. One day, Maurice fell terribly ill. Doctors said it was stress and exhaustion. He'd poured every drop of himself into raising them, but his body was tired. Maurice lying weakly in a hospital bed with tubes attached. The twins sit beside him, scared but holding his hand. A nurse in the background watches solemnly. The twins cried all night. They prayed. They promised to make him proud, to never waste the sacrifices he made. And from that day, something inside them ignited. Amy loved numbers. Amara loved design. By the time they turned 16, they had started a small online thrift and digital art business from their shared phone. They sold Ankara tote bags, thrift vintage dresses, and digital logos to small businesses. Every naira they earned went into helping their father recover and saving for their dream. Word spread fast, the twin girls with golden hands. In 2 years, their client list spanned across Nigeria and even reached London. But Jennifer still knew nothing. They registered their brand, Twin Nova. From YouTube to Instagram, they blew up. Interviews, collaborations, influencers begging to work with them. Still, no mother in sight. By 21, the girls were on Forbes Africa's 30 Under 30 list. Their story inspired millions. Maurice wept the day they surprised him with a fully paid mansion in Lekki. Then, just like a bad dream knocking at the door of destiny, Jennifer resurfaced. She had seen them trending online, and wanted to reconnect. Jennifer stood at the gate, pretending nothing had happened. "I'm your mother," she said, smiling awkwardly. But the twins didn't smile back. They just stared, frozen. Maurice came out, his face calm. "Jennifer," he said softly. "Now you remember you had daughters." She looked away, ashamed. The twins still said nothing. She came with stories. "I was depressed. I didn't know how to handle motherhood. I missed you every day. But it was too late. The damage was already done." The twins were polite. Raised right. They didn't shout. They didn't cry. Amy simply asked, "Where were you when Daddy collapsed?" And silence swallowed the room. Jennifer started visiting more often, acting like she had always been around. She told people, "My girls are billionaires now." As if that erased the past. Behind the scenes, she begged for money. "Let me manage one of your brands. I'm still your mother." But the twins had learned not to hand trust so easily. Maurice stayed silent. He didn't want revenge. He had raised queens, and that was enough. But watching Jennifer pose for clout made him sick. One day, Amara confronted her. "You didn't love us. You left because you wanted freedom, not because you were broken. Don't rewrite history." Jennifer finally broke down. "I was selfish," she confessed. "I didn't believe in Maurice. I didn't think you'd become anything. I was wrong." That night, Amy whispered to her sister, "We don't need revenge. We just need peace." And in that silence, they decided to forgive, but never forget. They paid Jennifer's rent for a year. Gave her a modest allowance. But the door she once slammed shut. It would never fully reopen. The twins built schools, sponsored orphans, and started mentorship programs for young girls abandoned by parents, just like they were. Their story became a documentary. From abandoned to billionaires. Millions watched. Their father's face, in every frame, was the anchor of their success. Jennifer sat at home and watched it. Alone. No edits could erase the years she missed. No apology could undo what she walked away from. If only she had stayed, she would have seen the beauty of pain, growth, and love. But that's the thing about choices, you can't always rewrite them. The documentary ended with a scene of Maurice in his garden, watering flowers with a gentle smile. It was peaceful. That smile carried years of pain and pride. People all over the country began calling Maurice the silent builder. He didn't speak much, but he raised empires from love and sacrifice. The twins never changed. They stayed humble. Every morning, they still greeted Maurice with hugs and kisses. No matter how rich they got. Jennifer, meanwhile, tried to replicate the spotlight. She opened a YouTube channel, telling her own version of events. But the comments? Brutal. She blamed depression, peer pressure, even Maurice. But no excuse erased the moment she walked away from 2 babies and a man who begged her to stay. One morning, a fan approached her on the street. "Aren't you the one who abandoned the twins?" She nodded, ashamed. That was now her identity. At an awards night, Amma took the mic, "Our dad is the reason we exist. We don't come from money. We come from love and pain." Maurice stood proud that night. Not because of wealth, but because he never gave up. He raised daughters who changed the world. Jennifer watched from her small apartment, clapping with tears rolling down her cheeks. That applause was no longer hers to enjoy. She wrote a letter to Maurice. A real one. "You were right. You were always right. I hope the girls never need to forgive me, but I'll always love them." Maurice read it. Quietly. Folded it. And placed it into a drawer beside their baby pictures. Some pain never leaves, but life moves on. Years passed. The twins became global icons. Their story inspired books, films, and scholarships. But their home was always with Daddy. One day, at a family gathering, Emma turned to Maurice and said, "What do you want, Daddy? Name it." And he whispered, "Just peace." Because in the end, it wasn't about wealth or revenge. It was about healing, legacy, and love that never gave up, no matter how broken it looked. She walked away thinking they'd suffer, but God lifted them. Sometimes the greatest revenge is rising, louder than your pain. In the end, sometimes the loudest revenge is your success. Never underestimate the power of a silent father and two daughters raised on pain, love, and purpose.